Hello, I am Katrina Martin, your certified tax coach and Airbnb tax strategist for those that are in the short-term rental space. And I wanted to do a video to talk to you about what does I use the term short-term rental a lot because it's not just Airbnb. Airbnb is a platform, right? So the short-term rental space could be that you're renting properties, doing rental arbitrage on properties. You could be renting out a tent. You could be renting out a boat. You could be renting out your car. You could be renting out your RV. You could be renting out, you can rent out anything. And if you're renting it for a short term, somebody's going to borrow it for, rent it from you for maybe a day or, under 30 days, then that's a short term rental. So that's how I classify that stuff. But I did want to start coming to you and giving you some tax tips. And one, I think that's going to be really beneficial to you. I've gotten a lot of hits on the video where I talked about, do you need to be an LLC to be, to start your short-term rental business? And like I said, no, you don't. And in all honesty, I want to start doing some comparisons so you'll see the difference. And this particular video, what I'm going to talk about is owning a property versus doing rental arbitrage. And we see that a lot in the housing short-term rental space. So the owning that property is where you own the property instead of doing the traditional kind of long-term rentals. You're doing the short-term, you're doing rental arbitrage where you sublet the property, but you rent it from the owner and you in turn rent it out on or host it out on the different short-term rental platforms, Airbnb, VRBO, booking.com. But I'm going to give you a tip later on in another video because it's going to cover a lot more of how you can start using your own platform. But that's for later. This one's specifically to talk about tax strategy as far as how you structure your business if you're doing rental arbitrage versus the traditional method. So if you actually own the property, there's a lot of tax savings in that because you get to use what's called a Schedule E for your taxes, right? And a Schedule E means that income is considered passive income. Passive income means that it's not going to get hit with that self-employment tax. The self-employment tax is for Social Security and Medicare, and that's 15.3% on top of any tax that you're paying is 15.3%. But when you're doing rental arbitrage, since you don't actually own the property, you end up having to use the tax form Schedule C. And when you're using tax form Schedule C, you have to pay that self-employment tax. That self-employment tax, I said, is 15.3%. That's to cover your Medicare costs and your Social Security costs. So those are important taxes, but that's a huge increase to your tax bill, right? But there are some strategies that you can put in place to eliminate that self-employment tax. And you'll hear a lot of times where people are talking about S-corporations and C-corporations and building out partnerships. That's where those strategies come in, but you shouldn't just haphazardly go select those categories because there's a certain sweet spot where you need to start doing those things. Because when you do those things, those incur additional costs. So just one being, for self, if you choose S corporation, you have to pay yourself payroll, and payroll comes with payroll taxes, right? So you need to have a comparison to see which one's going to be more beneficial, paying the self-employment tax versus paying that payroll tax. So, but that's where a tax strategist comes into place to figure out those things for you and run various scenarios and to tell you when is the time to incorporate the business. You need to be an S corporation or a C corporation. Don't just select those things on your own because each one of those entities comes with its own unique set of nuances and requirements. Requirements being very important when you have an incorporated business. So whether you're doing rental arbitrage or whether you're actually owning the property yourself, there's different tax treatment for each of those things. And if you're in the market to find out a little bit more, follow, like, and subscribe, and I'll come to you with more tips. And if you'd like to book a free discovery session where we can chat and you can pick my brain, use the link in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.